So this is your first year doing this, right? First year experience.
Yes.
What does that entail?
Wow. So,
and by the way, we're talking to Matt Goodwyn, being a first year experience.
That is the transitional year from high school to college for a lot of students. Transfers as well, but really primarily my focus is first freshman experience, right? Those students who have never experienced a college campus before. And I take them from our orientation experience to our Mountaineer Camp experience, to the first semester experience throughout and then the second semester. And really what that means is I try to work with people across campus to make sure that we are paying attention to any barriers that might be in place that keep them from being successful, and then work with a team of people to try to take away those barriers, and then to support the students as best I can, really in a lot of different ways, right? Are they able to be personal responsible for being what I call a professional student, all the things that come with that, the academic focus, and then the university engagement are kind of our big three areas that we focus a lot of our attention.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to TED Talk. My name is Ted Davis. I'm Director of Schreiner Broadcasting. And every week we talk to someone who we'll find interesting here on the Schreiner campus. And today we're going to talk to Matt Goodwyn, Dean of First Year Retention here at Schreiner University.
Yeah, so it's Dean of First Year Experience, and retention is a big part of what I do.
First of all, I want to thank Schreiner Outfitters for our studio. We've improved it a lot in the last year. Matt Comuzzie put that together. Matt's over there recording this, so thanks to that. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You went to Schreiner.
I did.
So what years were you here?
So I was here from 1998 to 2002.
Okay.
Played soccer here all 4 years. Captained the last 2 years. About me. Grew up in Kerrville. Fun story I tell people is I've been coming to this campus since I was 6.
Yeah.
The AYSO soccer fields used to be on campus. We used to come out here and play before any of this was built. We used to be soccer fields. So I've been, connected in a lot of different ways, with most of my life being dedicated to this campus.
Went to Tybee, right?
Went to Tybee.
You're an Antler?
I'm an Antler,
yeah.
Yes.
So played soccer in high school, I take it?
Yeah, all 4 years in high school as well. Yeah, I had to kind of choose a sports path. I grew up playing racquetball.
Okay.
And had gotten pretty successful at that. And the coach at the time said, well, you can dedicate time to this or you can dedicate time to this. So I chose to pursue soccer, and then kind of kept racquetball in my back pocket for a while.
Do you still play racquetball?
I don't. I had to retire when I was getting my doctorate degree. I couldn't balance that plus play. And I've had some injuries recently that kind of sidelined me for an extended period of time.
I know about that. Getting older is sometimes the wisdom is good, but the pain sometimes is not.
Yeah, the heart and head are in the right place. The body just doesn't want to follow.
See, I played pickup basketball full court for about 10 years when I was 30 and 40. Got pretty good at it, got in good shape. So the other day, and I'm over 60 now, the other day I went out in the gym, the ball was there, so I picked it up and started taking a few shots.
Yeah.
Next day, oh my gosh, my left knee was killing me. So I can't do that anymore. At some point, you just got to go, I'm done.
Oh, and I try, and I've blown out my right and left Achilles tendons, complete ruptures.
So you did the Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, and I came back from the first one. Within a year, I was playing soccer again, and then last February, I blew out the other one playing soccer, and my wife has finally told me, you're done.
Yeah.
So I am retired.
You don't have any more Achilles to blow out.
I don't. No.
Yeah. What was your highlight of your soccer career here? Do you remember?
Oh, I do. It was my freshman year. I was fortunate to start all 4 years playing soccer here, and in my freshman year, we were playing Incarnate Word, and we have never beaten Incarnate Word. And Eric Peterson delivered me a ball. I played the winger, and a diving header goal, and we were able to hold on to the win. And that's probably my biggest moment of my soccer career on a college stage, to be able to do that. Not just for me, but for the team, right? To kind of push us through, to be able to have that win was by far probably my best moment.
So knock it in with your head, not your foot.
Yeah, it was a great moment, especially as a freshman. That was an upperclassman senior at the time, and you kind of that's a moment I got to kind of write my way into the team. Right, I was in that moment. Okay, we accept you as part of the team. Right.
Yeah. Matt Goodwyn is with us, and we'll get into what he does here in a little bit. What was your experience like here at Schreiner as a student? Because here's the thing I get from a lot of kids I've talked to: they chose Schreiner because it's smaller, the class sizes are smaller, you have more intimate personal time with a professor, more teaching time. Yeah. Was that the case for you?
It was. So Schreiner honestly wasn't quite on my radar just yet. So as a soccer player in high school, I wanted to continue to play, and kind of did the search. And my parents had really dedicated a lot of time to us traveling growing up, so I didn't have really that itch to leave Kerrville too much. So in fact, Kylie Miller, Dr. Miller here on campus, I got to play with him when he was a senior and I was a freshman, recruited me. I remember he came to one of my games and kind of put Schreiner on my radar of a place I might want to play, and that caught my attention to come play. Right. And then once I was here, the small class size, the small campus, it was smaller than it is now. I think we had maybe 700, 800 students at the time. You really were a person on campus. People knew you. As an athlete, as a soccer player, you were kind of not necessarily a celebrity, but people, they came to the game. They knew who you were across campus. The faculty knew who you were. And that connection really helped project me into my career. Dr. Shaw on campus, I took some of his classes, and I remember a moment he sat me down. He's like, you'd probably be good at this teaching thing if you don't have a plan when you graduate. And I didn't think of it at all at the time. It was not in my plans to work at a university in any capacity. But a couple years afterwards, I remembered those words, and it kind of led me back to be able to work here.
How long have you been on the Schreiner staff?
I think I'm going on 18. I think I started my 18th year as a staff. Yeah.
So this is your first year doing this, right? First year experience.
Yes.
What does that entail?
Wow. So,
and by the way, we're talking to Matt Goodwyn, being a first-year experience.
That is the transitional year from high school to college for a lot of students. Transfers as well, but really primarily my focus is first freshman experience, right? Those students who have never experienced a college campus before. And I take them from our orientation experience to our Mountaineer Camp experience, to the first semester experience throughout and then the second semester. And really what that means is I try to work with people across campus to make sure that we are paying attention to any barriers that might be in place that keep them from being successful, and then work with a team of people to try to take away those barriers, and then to support the students as best I can, really in a lot of different ways, right? Are they able to be personal responsible for being what I call a professional student, all the things that come with that, the academic focus, and then the university engagement are kind of our big three areas that we focus a lot of our attention on.
Well, in a way, your mother, father, counselor, kind of all those roles, aren't you?
Yeah, a lot of that plays into it. And I try to really focus a lot of time across campus with a lot of different groups. So a lot of those different roles come out in a lot of different ways across campus.
What are I would say, homesickness would be the first thing that would come into play. And then the transition from high school to college is difficult for some.
It is. That's a big one. The homesickness, you're away from home for the first time. You have a support group here on campus, but you're just now getting to know them. So relationship building is huge. The transition from just responsibility within the classroom, right? The expectation at a high school level, a little bit different at a college level. And we're there to make sure that they understand what that means and the work that needs to come with that.
And the goal is to take them from day one, and then 4 years later, in the spring, they walk on that stage and they get their degree and they go out as grown-ups.
Absolutely. Every student that comes through our gates, we want to be successful, and hopefully we are able to help them get to that point where they can graduate. And there's a lot of work that comes from that moment of freshman to senior graduating, and a lot of transition moments. A lot of growth happens in those years.
How rewarding is that for you to see a student come in here and then walk out 4 years later, and they're a complete person now?
Yeah, it's huge. I talk about, we're in an industry that we only get to see a small part of that transitional growth.
Yeah.
And then they go on to be successful, and hopefully we hear back from them as an alumni, but sometimes you don't. So you put a lot of work into it. So from the freshman year coming in and walking through the gates, and then leaving the stage as a graduate, it's a very rewarding experience, and one that we love to share with our students, because there's a lot of work that came with that moment for that person.
Talking to Matt Goodwyn, Dean of First Year Experience here at Schreiner, colleges all across the country are facing a challenge, and it's a declining birth rate.
Yeah.
So there are fewer and fewer kids to go to college. Now, Schreiner wants to grow, but they want to stay small. That's kind of an oxymoron. So how do you grow and stay small at the same time?
Yeah, I think the growth from our kind of perspective would be, finding the students that are Schreiner, right? That right fit. So the growth piece comes in a lot of different ways. We want to be at a certain enrollment on our campus to make sure that we are a very thriving, lively place and a good supportive community for our students, staff, faculty, the area community, right? All that comes with that. But within my role that I come into is the growth piece, is to make sure that they're supported in a way and excited in a way to continue to be here as a Mountaineer. There's a lot of the relationship and the pride in what does it mean to be a Mountaineer? What does it mean to be on our Schreiner campus? And really that work to make sure that they understand that you are the community, like you are Schreiner. So a lot of the growth comes from that, because if you establish that, then they are that community, they are here, and we're growing in that way. And the numbers are increasing in that way. Maybe not as, we're not going to enroll 3,000 to 4,000 people,
right,
but we're going to grow because we have more people staying and progressing through freshman to senior year.
Now, given that you played soccer, you're doing some broadcasting.
We are,
for Schreiner Mountaineers, streaming broadcast, as I do for many sports here. So have you enjoyed that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What do you call yourself?
we call ourselves Vintage Burgundy, and that is
Is that like a fine wine?
It is, a very fine wine. It is with Michael Rossi and Kylie Miller, and we're just a couple of alumni that love the game of soccer, love Schreiner, and want to continue to give back. And by all means, we are learning the craft every time we do it. It's a challenge that you and a lot of other professionals make it look really easy.
Well, yeah.
But we enjoy it. We do enjoy it, and we know it brings some joy to the students when they watch. So that's we're giving back and we're having fun doing it. And as long as people are enjoying what we're doing, we'll keep doing it.
I've been in broadcasting for 50 years, and I've had people, and I know people do this at home when they're watching a game like an NFL game on a Sunday. They're sitting there going, "Oh, that's easy. I could do that." And there's a skill set to it, and the professional part of it is making it look easy. That guy, it's easy to do that. You know, and that's the professional part of it. So that's
well, y'all do make it look easy, and it is not easy. Let me tell you.
One thing I've enjoyed about I covered teams at Division I. I was the play-by-play man for TCU football, basketball, Texas A&M football and basketball. And I'm not knocking what it is. It's just a different experience because students go there not necessarily because they want to get an education. They're thinking they've got something at the next level or whatever, NIL deals. The thing I've enjoyed here at Division III is athletics is a part of their college experience. It is not what they come here for. And it truly is the very definition of student athletes here, isn't it?
Absolutely. To be an athlete, you have to be successful as a student first on the academic side. So it's definitely student athlete. But we also understand that a lot of these students coming to us, they've played their sport almost their whole life. So there's a big piece of identity that comes with that. And I know that we work really hard, probably across all D3 schools to really make sure that they understand that balance between student athlete, and what are those responsibilities and expectations as an athlete, but also as a student, and how do those come together?
Well, I enjoyed meeting you, enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, this has been great.
And I know this is your first year in this line, correct?
Yeah.
And if you get that retention number up every year, then that's going to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, we did really, really well this year. We moved at 10 percentage points. We're sitting about 72% retention this year, which is amazing. A lot of work from a lot of different people across campus made that happen. As coming together as a Schreiner community to do that is probably another one of those big special moments for me for the campus to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to keep doing it every year.
All right, Matt, thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, this has been great.
Matt Goodwyn, Dean of First Year Experience here at Schreiner. That is TED Talks for this week. We'll have another one next week right here on Schreiner Broadcasting Network.